So this is just a really nice kind of gentle stretch and release session. We're just going to move everything, release a bit of tension and hopefully leave you feeling amazing. That's the plan. So we're lying down on our back and we're just going to take a moment to let our body settle into the floor here. So just take some deep breaths, allowing the back of your rib cage to sink down heavy into the floor. Allowing your pelvis to anchor down. And then just taking those deep breaths here, just allowing everything to settle, letting your breath slow down. Getting as much movement through the rib cage as you can with every breath. We're going to start to move, so take your arms out to that T position, palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Bring your feet and knees together for the spine twist, so take a breath, and as you exhale, allow both knees to roll gently to one side. Inhale as you come back through centre and exhale over the other way, so just go at your own speed as feels good to you. We're just starting to mobilise and move our body. So you're not trying to force anything, you're just being as relaxed and as soft through your body as you can. And just allowing your body to move as feels good. And then as you come in through centre this time, just pick up your knees. Bring your knees into your chest and let's just rock gently here, allowing your back to release into the floor. Let's start to get those hips moving a little bit now. So one hand on the top of each knee as you open the knees wide and circle around. Let's do 5 big circles in each direction. Just making the circles as big or as small as you like. Again, just however feels good to you. When you've done all of your circles, we're going to let the feet come down towards the floor and we're going to go into a cobbler stretch. So bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees roll out to the sides. Remember, if it puts too much pressure on your hips or it's just uncomfortable, you can always grab some cushions to bolster, to pop them under your thighs, up under your upper thighs, just to allow your body to relax down. And we're still taking those deep breaths here. Let's start to move the arms and the shoulders a little bit. So we're going to bring the backs of the hands down onto the floor. And we're going to start to slowly slide the backs of the hands out along the floor and up towards your head. Just take the arms as high as you can, maintain that rib down position. And then when you're ready, slowly lower the arms back down towards your hips. So again, just go at your own flow, at your own pace. And then as your arms come up towards your head, kind of find that V position with your arms. So they're pointing up, straight up towards your head or out to the sides even. And we're going to just hold here. Check in with the ribs, make sure that we're not arching the back and lifting the ribs up. So try and let your ribs relax down. And then can you cross one ankle over the other and let the knees roll out to the side. So it's just that next level up from your cobbler. Now if crossing the ankles just doesn't feel nice for your hips or it's a little bit too much, just go back to soles of the feet together. And we're going to take some deep breaths here. Let's do 5 really long, slow, deep breaths. When you've done your 5 breaths, just cross your ankles over the other way. And again, let's take 5 more. again, when you finish those breaths, we're going to release the arms down. We're going to bring the knees into the chest again. Take hold of your knees. And again, let's just roll it out here. We're going to bring those legs to a tabletop position now, but keep the knees together. And take your arms back out to that T position, palms facing up. So we're going to do our spine twist here. Don't go too far to begin with, but again, let's roll the knees over to one side and then come back in through centre. So it's a lot more load, it's a lot more work because you've not got your feet down. So if it feels too much, then feel free to pop your feet back down. Otherwise, we're just going to roll gently side to side. You're in control. The closer your knees are into your body, the easier it is. The further your knees are away, the harder it is. So just choose your challenge. But remembering all the time that we're wanting to just release tension and just move and feel good. Now as you roll your knees over to one side this time, we're going to hold there. And then we're going to keep rolling to bring your knees all the way down to the floor. So that's probably rolled you onto your side now. And then we're going to start to roll our upper body back towards the floor. Now it might not come all the way down to the floor, and that's fine. We're not going to force it. We're just going to hang out where we are and take some deep breaths here. We're trying to find softness here. So kind of let your body be as soft as possible. Now normally I'll make you have your knees stacked and don't let your pelvis roll. But to begin with, let's just allow our body to be where it wants to be. And just take some deep breaths. And then we're going to roll ourselves back onto our back again. So when you're ready, pick those legs up. Maybe do one at a time to bring your legs up. And let's roll over to the other side. So bringing the knees down onto the other side. And then again, starting to roll your upper body back down into the floor. Taking those deep breaths and trying to find as much softness here as you can. We're going to roll all the way back to the other side again. So again, just come back in through centre and roll your knees back to that first side. Now this time we are going to focus on keeping the knees level. So we're keeping that pelvis level, and then again rolling your upper body back. So it's not as easy because we're not letting everything just kind of collapse now. It's a little bit more controlled. Let's just see how that feels. Nice open through the chest, through the shoulder, nice twist through your waist. And then we're going to take that again over to the other side. So picking up your knees again. One at a time, roll them over. Knees stacked, pelvis stacked, and then again rolling your upper body back down towards the floor. When you're ready, we're going to roll back onto our back again, picking up those legs, bring your knees into your chest, and let's just give our back a little reset, a little roll out on the floor. And then we're going to place our feet back down on the floor. Take your feet slightly to the edges of your mat, so take them quite wide. We're going to do our windscreen wiper legs here. So taking your arms out to that T again, and we're going to allow both knees to roll gently to one side. Back in through centre and over to the other side, and maybe it feels nice to let your head roll the opposite way to your knees. Couple more here. And then as you come in through centre this time, hold it there. Let's bring our feet and knees back to hip width apart. And then you can have your arms wherever's comfortable for you. And we're going to just do a little pelvic tilt here. So take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to tilt your pelvis towards you so your pubic bone is higher than your hip bones and your lower back is completely flat on the floor. As you inhale, you're just going to bring that pelvis back into a neutral position. Again, as you exhale, tilt towards you. And inhale to roll the other way. So we're just tilting our pelvis forwards and backwards. And it feels nice around your lower back. Freeing off any tightness there. From here, we're going to take it into a spine curl, so just making sure you've not got anything under your head for this one. And we're going to bring our arms down by our sides, palms face down for this one so that you can use the backs of your arms to stabilise you. Take a breath. Tilt your pelvis towards you, and as you exhale, you're going to start to roll your spine up away from the floor, bringing your hips up towards the ceiling. Pause when you get to the top. Take a breath here, and as you exhale, slowly roll yourself back down. And we're going to keep going with that. So you're moving as you exhale. You're looking for that sequential movement of your spine. You're seeing how well it's articulating and whether you can get that movement to flow or whether you feel like a brick and your spine is not wanting to move. Try and keep your eyes on the ceiling above you. It keeps your neck in really good alignment. Don't want to be putting any strain on our neck. Let's do 2 more of these little spine curls here. And then when you roll down after this last one, you're just going to bring your knees into your chest again. Just have a little roll side to side again, just a little reset. Just to make sure that we're not holding tightness. We're going to do a few more of those little spine curls, but we're going to roll up and down on each side of the spine now rather than it being straight down the centre. So when you're ready, let's go back to feet and knees hip width apart. And before we start to roll up, we're going to tilt our pelvis this time. So tilt your pelvis to the right so that your left cheek, your left butt cheek has just left the floor and your pelvis is tipped to the right. Take a breath, tilt your pelvis towards you, and as you exhale, you're rolling up and you're just to the right side of your spine. When you get to the top, you're going to level out your pelvis and we're going to tip it to the left this time. And then we're going to roll down on that left side of your spine. Once you get down to the bottom, just level your pelvis out and we're going to go the opposite way. So this time you're going to tilt your pelvis to the left so your right hip is reaching for the ceiling. Rolling up that left side of your spine. When you get to the top, level out, tilt to the right and roll down that right side. When you get to the bottom, level out. We're going to go the other way again. So we're going to tilt right, roll up the right side, level at the top and roll down the left. Level at the bottom. Let's go the other way again, tilt left. Rolling up the left side of your spine, leveling at the top and rolling all the way down on that right side. When you get down to the bottom, knees to chest and a little rock, side to side. Releasing your legs out long now. Reach your arms overhead and let's stretch from fingertips to toes. Make yourself as long as you can. Let's just take a couple of deep breaths here. From here, we're going to go into our crescent stretch. So walk your legs to your right. And then walk your arms and upper body also to your right. Stay there if that's enough. Or you can pick up your left leg and cross your left ankle over your right. And then with your right hand, you can grab your left wrist and just give it that little extra pull. And let's take some deep breaths here. Making sure that you're not arching your back, so shoulder blades should still be down on the floor. Both butt cheeks should be down on the floor, so we've not rolled onto our side here. Notice how much you can move your rib cage on that left side. So that left side it's got so much space now, it's got so much freedom to move. And then when you're ready, let's release the arms first, just to take the load off your shoulders. Release the legs, walk your legs in through centre. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So walk your legs to your left this time. Take your arms up and overhead. And again, walk your arms and upper body also to your left. So you're in that crescent or banana shape here. That might be enough on this side. If you want to take it a bit further, lifting up your right leg, crossing that right ankle over there. And with your left hand, grab that right wrist. And again, just give it that little extra pull. Checking that you're not arching your back so ribs stay down. And let's take those deep breaths again here. And then when you're ready, releasing your arms again first. Walk your legs back in through centre and then moving slowly, just picking up your legs one at a time to bring your knees to your chest again and roll it out. So we're going to do a little bit of shoulder work now. We're going to do the windmill stretch next. So releasing your feet back down to the floor. And let's do the same side together. So straighten out in fact, let's lift our hips up and take your hips to the right a couple of inches. And then straighten out your left leg. Bring your right leg into a tabletop position. And then roll onto your left side, bringing that right knee down to the floor. And then you can bring that bottom arm, that left arm around to cradle your head, just to make you a little bit more comfortable. Now notice what your left leg is doing. Is it just kind of flopped and enjoying itself there? Can you straighten out that left leg and push out through your heel so that left leg is reaching and lengthening? And then we're going to take that right arm up towards the ceiling and spread your fingers wide. Can you take that arm overhead, bringing your thumb down towards the floor and then gently reaching back up towards the ceiling again. Do that again when you're ready. Take your arm over, bringing your thumb down towards the floor. Now notice as your arm goes overhead, is your rib cage trying to lift? Can you keep those ribs relaxed and down so that all of this movement is just coming through your arm and your shoulder? We'll do one more like this. And then as you come back up towards the ceiling this time, we're going to take that arm back behind us this time. So you can roll your upper body, but keep that knee down on the floor. And if you need to kind of shuffle your head around, that's fine too. Reach that arm out behind you now and take a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to start to move that arm behind us in that little arc shape. So I'm taking it down towards your hip and then bringing it up towards your head and just moving around. Again, the ribs are staying down. This is a really nice way to open up your chest and your shoulder, getting more movement through that shoulder. Really nice. And maybe finding a point where it feels like that's kind of the most stretchiest point. That's the point at which you can kind of feel the stretch, you can feel the pull, and then maybe just hang out there for a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, bringing that arm back up towards the ceiling, give the fingers a stretch apart, really big starfish hand here, and then scrunch it into a little fist, and then starfish hand again. Do that one more time. Scrunch it up, little fist, and then great big starfish. And then just gently relax that hand all the way down. We're going to do the same on the other side. So when you're ready, roll yourself onto your back. Bringing your feet down. You're going to lift your hips, and again, just take your hips to the left this time, a couple of inches. It just gives you a little bit more space. Straighten out your right leg. Bring your left leg into tabletop, and then you're rolling over to bring that left knee down to the floor. So you're rolling onto your right side. Again, bottom arm can come around to cradle your head, and then reach that right leg out long, so it doesn't want to just be all relaxed and floppy. We're working, we're active through that bottom leg. And then taking your left arm up towards the ceiling. Let's have a look at that starfish. Spread those fingers wide. And then start to slowly take that arm overhead, bringing your thumb down towards the floor, and then back up towards the ceiling. And remember, this is just the arm and the shoulder that's moving, so the rib cage doesn't need to come with it. Noticing if your range of movement is different on this side to the other side maybe. And then as your hand comes back up towards the ceiling this time, we're going to take it behind us again on this side. So when you're ready, just rolling that arm back. Again, adjust your head if you need to. Check that bottom leg again, make sure we're nice and active through that reaching leg. Again, we're just going to hang out here for a couple of breaths. And then do that little arc of movement behind you on this side. Again, just noticing any differences from one side to the other. And seeing if you can again find that point at which it feels like that's where the tension is. That's the bit that feels like it needs to stretch a little bit more, and then hold in there for a couple of breaths. Maybe you don't have anywhere that feels like that. You can keep moving if you want to. If you don't find a point that feels like it needs a little bit more, feel free to keep moving. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring that arm back up towards the ceiling. Again, spread your fingers wide, find that starfish hand. And then scrunch your hand into a little fist. And spread your fingers wide again. One more time, a little fist. And then spread your fingers wide again. And then just gently lowering that arm down. Roll yourself onto your back. And let's just do that little spine twist again. So keep your feet down and just gently roll your knees side to side. If you prefer, you can bring your knees into tabletop and do that little spine twist here. Just find the point that feels good for you. Where does your back feel like it needs a little bit of attention? Okay, and then when you're ready, we're going to roll over onto our front next. So come onto your front. And we're going to be on our elbows here. So can you have your elbows under your shoulders? And then let's have like two loose little fists. We want the same distance between our fists as we have our elbows. And then notice if you're kind of sagging into your shoulders as your chest drops down towards the floor. Can you think about picking up your chest, making those shoulder blades go nice and wide on your back? Trying to find that anchor of your pubic bone into the floor and that slight tuck of the tailbone just to stop you from again sagging into your lower back. Tops of the feet are pressing down onto the floor. And we're just going to hold here. Taking those deep breaths, nice and stable through the shoulders. If you're a rib thruster, make sure that you aren't just letting your ribs collapse towards the floor. Keep those ribs pulled into your body. And then really slowly, really gently, we're going to start to turn our head to the side. We're going to come in through centre and turn our head to the other side. Again, just move nice and slow. And then as you come in through centre this time, we're going to lie ourselves all the way down Have your hands one on top of the other and rest your head down onto your hands. Take your legs wide now. So let's take the legs super wide, maybe wider than your mat. And then let your heels roll in towards the centre so that your toes are pointing out to the side. And just relax down here. Let's take 5 deep breaths here. When you've finished taking those deep breaths, we're going to walk those legs back in towards each other. And bring them as close to each other as you can. So if you can get those legs to touch in that midline, then let's have them there. If that bothers your lower back, then feel free to take them a little bit wider apart. And we're going to do our quad stretch here. So we're going to bend one knee, and we're going to reach our hand back to grab our ankle here. Now if you need to move your knee out to the side a little bit just to get some space, feel free. And notice when you reach back to grab your ankle, has your hip lifted away from the floor? Can you try and find space to allow your pelvis to anchor back down onto the floor here? And remember, if you're super tight, you can always grab a strap and loop it around your ankle should you need to. Taking some deep breaths. And then you can either choose to keep still here, or you can start to gently roll that leg in and out. And then when you're ready, we're going to release that leg, lengthen that leg back out long. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So bending your other leg. And reach your hand back, and again see if you can grab your ankle on this. And noticing any difference from one side to the other. And if you need to move your leg out to the side a little bit to get here, then do. If you had to lift your hip bone away from the floor to get here, can you find more space? And try and allow your pelvis to anchor back down. And then again, either choosing to stay still or just gently rolling that leg in and out. Really good. When you're ready, release that leg. And we're going to push ourselves up and back into the child's pose, into the rest position, just to give your back a little stretch out the other way. When we've been laying on our front for a little while, sometimes it's nice to just stretch. Maybe it feels nice to just gently rock your body side to side in that child's pose, or you can keep still if you prefer. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up and down onto our front again. And we're going to do that inner thigh stretch now. So we're going to take one leg and we're going to bend the knee and slide the knee out to the side. And then once you're there, you're going to notice whether you have hitched that hip up higher. Can you see if you can find that position where your hip bones are still on the same line? So maybe you have to think about sending that hip almost down towards the bottom of your mat. And again, you can just have your head relaxing down on your hands here. Taking some deep breaths and just do a scan through your body while you're here, noticing if you are gripping and holding tension anywhere. So checking your face, checking your jaw, your neck and shoulders. Are you sucking your belly in? Can you let your belly relax? Are you scrunching up your toes, or have you made little fists with your hands? Try and let everything else just be as soft and as relaxed as possible. And with each exhale, thinking about allowing your body to sink down into the floor. Imagining that you're laid on some beautiful white, really soft sand, and you're just sinking down, making an imprint of your pelvis into that beautiful white sand. Wouldn't it be nice, lying on a sandy beach? Beautiful. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to straighten that leg out. So instead of it being bent out to the side, it's just out straight this time. And then when you're ready, just bend that knee back in and bring that leg back in. Let's have legs about hip width and just gently rock your hips side to side. Just have a little moment there. And then when you're ready, we're going to do the same on the other side. So take your knee out to the side, slide it out along the floor. And then once you're there, notice, have you had to hitch your hip up higher? Can you find that level pelvis? Have you got a big space under the front of your pelvis? Is that hip bone away from the floor? See if you can find more space. And again, with each exhale, see if you can sink down deeper into the floor. And then when you're ready, let's straighten out that leg now. Again, just sinking down into the floor. And then when you're ready, bending that knee back in, bringing that leg back in, and again, just gently rock your hips side to side, just freeing up. Let's find that child's pose, that rest position again. Push yourself up and back, taking your bottom back towards your heels, reaching your arms forwards, and take some deep breaths here. Come up and over and onto our back now. So when you're ready, come on over onto your back. And we're going to pull the right knee into the chest and reach the left leg out long on the floor. Pull your right knee in as close to your chest as you can, but without tipping your pelvis back. So see if we can maintain that level pelvis, hip bone and pubic bone on the same level as you pull your knee in. And then soften everything again. Check your face, check your jaw, neck and shoulders. Let's take some deep breaths. And then we're going to slide that left leg back in, have your foot down on the floor and cross your right ankle over that left knee. So we're into that number 4 stretch here. Check again those hip bones, making sure you've not hitched one hip higher than the other. We want to keep that level pelvis. And holding in that number 4 stretch position here. So you can choose to keep your foot anchored down on the floor, or you can float that supporting leg up and hold behind your thigh. And then when you're ready, let that supporting foot come back down onto the floor, but keep that right leg crossed over, and we're going to roll to bring the sole of that right foot down onto the floor. And then notice whether your knee's dropping towards you. Can you keep that knee pointing up towards the ceiling? And can you roll your upper body back down into the floor? Can you take your arms back to that T position here? Now if it feels like it's too much for your hips, feel free to just go into that spine twist position. But if it feels okay, let's hold and take some deep breaths. We're going to roll ourselves back onto our back now. So roll yourself back onto your back. And that right leg that we've got coming across, we're going to release that right leg, and I'm going to hold behind that knee and pull the knee in towards us and take the foot up towards the ceiling. We're going to see if we can do our little happy baby stretch here. So you can either hold behind that knee, you can hold onto your shin, or maybe you can reach and hold onto the outside edge of your foot. Find where you can hold comfortably. And then again, taking some deep breaths. Remember with Happy Baby, if you feel like that knee is crushing your chest and you can't breathe, take the whole leg slightly out to the side. So it's kind of knees more towards your armpit, and it just gives you a little bit more space. Have a feel of the back of that right leg. Does that hamstring need a little bit of attention? You can just give a little rub there. Check your jaw again here. Has it made you clench your teeth and you let your jaw relax? Really good. And then when you're ready, releasing that right leg. We're going to straighten that right leg out long on the floor and bring your left knee in towards your chest. Again, checking that we've got that neutral pelvis, so we've not let the pelvis tip back. We're getting deep into that hip. Let's take a few deep breaths. Going to slide that right leg back in. Let's find that number 4 stretch on this side now. Crossing your left ankle over your right knee and opening that left knee out to the side. Let's hold here. Check in whether you've hitched your hip up. Try and keep those hip bones level. And again, you can either keep that foot down on the floor, or you can float that standing leg up and hold behind your knee. And just deepen that number 4 position here. Always just being really mindful of how it feels in your body. And if it's twingy or tweaky or just doesn't feel right for whatever reason, keep your foot down on the floor, and you've always got the option of just going into a spine twist if it's not right for you today. And then when you're ready, placing that standing foot back down on the floor, and we're going to roll again onto our side, bringing the sole of that left foot down. Checking that knee, making sure it's not flopped. Knee's going to keep reaching up towards the ceiling as you open out the upper body back down into the mat. Taking those deep breaths, making sure that you aren't now gripping and holding, frowning and gnashing teeth. Just let everything be as soft and as relaxed as you can. When you're ready, we're going to roll back onto our back. And we're going to release that left leg and bring that leg into that happy baby position. So hold behind your knee first to pull that knee in towards you. Straightening out that lower leg, trying to get your shin vertical and sole of the foot towards the ceiling. And then hold wherever you can reach. If you can reach the outside edge of your foot, hold there. And take some deep breaths here. Remembering you can take that leg slightly out to the side if you need to. Let's check that back of that leg. Does that hamstring need a little bit of attention? Maybe giving it a little rub. And then when you're ready, we're going to release that leg. We're going to go back into our cobbler here. So bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees roll out to the side. Reaching your arms up towards the ceiling, let's interlace our fingers and turn your hands over, press your palms to the ceiling, ribs sink down. When you're ready, start to take your arms overhead towards the floor behind you, stretching into your fingers, your hands, your shoulders. We're going to slowly bring the hands back up to the ceiling now. Bring your fingers apart, give your fingers a wriggle. Spread your fingers wide, think starfish hands again. And then circle at your wrist. And circle the other way. And then gently pulling each finger in turn back to give them a stretch. Give them a little wriggle again. And gently lowering your hands down. When you're ready, bring the knees back up towards the ceiling. And we're going to come over onto all fours for cat-cow next. So take your time, but come on up, provide your hands and knees. Fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other, elbow pits are forwards. When you're ready, take a breath, and as you exhale, tuck your bottom under and start to roll slowly through your spine, making your back as rounded as you can, pausing at the top of that position to take a breath in, and as you exhale, go the other way, stick your bottom out, roll through your spine. Head is always the last thing to move, and then just keep going at your own speed. And then as you come through centre this time, we're going to take it into thread the needle. So we're going to take one hand, we're going to thread it behind the other and rotate your upper body around. Maybe you can bring your shoulder and your ear down towards the floor. If not, you can grab yourself a cushion or you can hover. If you have managed to get your shoulder and your ear down to the floor, the hand that's supporting you, let's reach that arm forwards to give us a little bit more of a stretch through our shoulders and upper back. It's like you've made a big L with your arms now. Got one arm reaching forwards, one arm coming out to the side. And let's take a few deep breaths here. When you're ready, slide that supporting hand back in. Twist your body back around to bring both hands back down onto the floor. And we're going to thread the needle on the other side. The other hand this time threads behind. Twists around, bringing your shoulder and your ear down towards the floor again. Again, if you've managed to come all the way down, we're going to take that supporting hand and reach it up and forwards to the front of your mat. Again, giving you a little bit more of a stretch into your upper back and shoulders. Taking some deep breaths. Bringing that supported arm back in so that you can come out of that thread the needle position. Bringing both hands back down onto the floor, and then we're going to come to a seated position. Again, just move nice and slowly. If you need to grab yourself a cushion or a block or something to sit on to make you more comfortable, then feel free. And we're going to do some little seated side bends and just add some little bits and pieces on here. So cross-legged is a good position to sit in if you can get here comfortably. You can do little mermaid legs where you're kind of in that 90-90 position, or both legs to one side. There's lots of different positions, so find the one that feels okay for you and feel free to change it around. Okay, so once you're happy, we're going to take one hand down to rest on the floor, and we're going to reach the other arm up towards the ceiling. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale as you grow tall, and exhale to take it over into a side bend. Really stretch, reaching those fingers. Inhale to come up, grow tall through center, and we're going to windmill the arms and do the same on the other side, reaching those fingertips. Anchoring your sit bones down. Let's go again. Inhale, grow tall through center, and take it over to that beautiful side bend. And when you're ready, up and over. We're going to do one more like this on each side. Side bends just feel so good. Alright, we're going to go back to the first side again. So let's find that side bend position and hold it there. We're going to take this top hand and place it behind your head, and then press your head really heavy into your hand, elbows pointing up towards the ceiling. Can you hold here and take some deep breaths? We're really looking to expand the rib cage now on this side that's opened out. The more movement, the more stretch we can get on here, the more we're going to create space through our upper back. Taking pressure off your low back. Now we're going to twist our body around so that we're looking down towards the floor. So that elbow is going to come away from the ceiling and point down towards the floor, and we're looking down. We're going to release that hand down, and it can rest on your knee or the floor or wherever it can reach. And we're going to do a little tiny cat-cow movement here. So can you think about rounding your spine? I know it doesn't move very much, and that's fine. And then can you think about extending your spine? So it's almost like you're trying to stick your bottom out and lift your chest towards the ceiling. Let's do that again. Can you curl and round your spine a little bit? A little cat-cow seated. And can you lift and extend a little bit here? Let's do one more time. So again, it's a really subtle, very small movement. Don't force anything. Alright, and then we're going to take that hand and pop it behind our head again. We're going to find that side bend position again. And we're going to come up and release. We're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to find that side bend position first. Take your hand, pop it behind your head, and press your head heavy into your hands. Try to get that elbow pointed as much towards the ceiling as you can. And let's just hold here and take a few breaths. Again, looking to expand that rib cage. Really nice. And then again, we're going to twist to look down towards the floor. Once you've twisted as far as you can, you're going to release that hand that was behind your head and just let it rest wherever it can reach. And again, we're going to play with that little cat-cow here. So can you round your spine? And then can you think about sticking your bottom out and lifting your chest? Again, rounding. And lifting. Can you do one more time? And then just finding that side bend position again. We're going to place that hand behind the head again, come back into that side bend. Elbow reaches towards the ceiling, can't see. And then we're just going to come up and just release your hand down. Just give your shoulders a little circle. and just circle the other way. I need to check the time because I've not got my, oh god, I've got 5 minutes. I've not got my my time on this evening. Turn your head side to side, just freeing off your neck. And we're going to come up to standing. So I thought I would do it the other way around. So come on up to standing. Okay. So we're going to do our little standing squat series with the arms because it's a really nice little flow that we do, and I thought that would be a really nice way to kind of finish off. So we're going to take our legs wide and we're going to turn our feet out. And then remember how we just always find our squat position, just making sure that it's a comfortable position and you've not got your legs too close. So kind of have a little play, find a squat that feels good to you, feels comfortable to you, and then let's stand back tall again. We're going to interlace our fingers, and as we inhale, we're going to bring the hands up towards the chin. As you exhale, turn the hands over, press the hands down and find that squat and hold. Inhale, sweep your arms forwards and up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, we're going to release the hands and come all the way back down. Let's do that again. As you inhale, bring the hands up towards your chin. Exhale as you press and squat down. Inhale, sweep forwards, up towards the ceiling, and then exhale to release and come all the way back to your start position. Let's do one more like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press and squat. Inhale, sweep forwards, up towards the ceiling, and then exhale as you release and come all the way down. Bringing your feet in, we're going to do some heel raises with the arms now. So feet are hip width apart. We're going to rise up onto the balls of the feet and reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Oh, can you get up? I can't. And then circle your arms out to the sides, lowering your heels as you lower your hands. Let's do that again. Coming up, grow tall. And circle your arms, lowering your heels as you lower your hands. One more like this. And then we're just going to reverse the arms and go the other way. So as you inhale, you're going to open your arms out, reaching up towards the ceiling. And then as you lower your hands down, lower your heels down. My balance is going now. Coming up. And lower it down. One more time. And lower it down. Let your arms just be super floppy and just let your arms swing free as you just gently twist side to side. You guys are all done.